I didn't think I'd be able to afford to go to rehab. When I looked into facilities in the States, the facilities I wanted to go to it was 30 grand and my insurance didn't pay for it. So I really thought I'm going to have to go to some outpatient program in New York because I can't afford these places that my therapist and other people were saying would be appropriate for me. And then I wasn't going to go to a dry out facility, you know, where I just got a bed for 28 days. I needed more of a program. But I happened to go to a meeting, a 12-step meeting a month ago, and ran into my friend Ed, who had just come back from DARA, and he raved about it. And I talked to him after the meeting, got more information. There was another woman named Jen who had also been to DARA years ago, and they both recommended it highly. I went online, read more about it, contacted admissions. I think I would have thought it was too good to be true just looking at it online, because it just wasn't what I expected a rehab to be. I love this. I love tropics, sun, ocean, jungle, monkeys. It's all, you know, it didn't take me long to realize this is the right environment for me. And the fact that it wasn't 12-step was interesting to me, because all I've really experienced in recovery has been the 12-step groups, and I've gotten a lot out of 12-step, but I already know the 12 steps. I've worked the 12 steps. I'll work them again when I get back. But I wanted to open up to other ways of thinking about addiction, and that's what DARA is giving me. Is every day I get more, you know, knowledge from the different topics that are discussed, the groups, working with you. You know, it's not. This is the first time I've ever experienced rehab, and I think I chose well. I know I chose well. I don't think this kind of facility exists in the States, and the fact that it's less than a third of the price. You know, it was $7 grand. I could afford. I could find the money for that. I couldn't find the money for 30 grand or justify the money for 30 grand for a month. This I get more than I would get in the States for a lot less. So it just made sense. This is my 4th week. I remember thinking when I first got here that a month away, I hadn't ever been a month away from my life, and I just thought that was going to, I thought I'd miss home a lot. I thought I'd maybe not make it the whole 4 weeks, want to go back early. And about 2 weeks in, I extended my stay because I could feel myself opening up. I could feel comfortable in my own skin again, which I wasn't feeling for years while I was using. I wasn't happy with myself. And from working with the other clients, talking about what they're going through. I mean, they're from all over the world. That's another thing that I don't experience back in New York. In the program that I'm in New York is Crystal Meth Anonymous, and it's mostly men, it's mostly gay men, it's all Americans. Here, there's people from New Zealand, from Australia, from Europe, from Asia. Everybody is so different, but we all have this commonality of substance or abuse or alcohol abuse, and it makes it. I think the differences make the commonality that much stronger. You know, when we come together, it's really clear what we all share, and yet it's also really clear that we're all very different people, and I love that about DARA. I love that I'm away from the States right now. It's been really good to turn off Facebook, turn off the news, and just focus on the here and now. And that's the other thing that DARA offers is like, look around. We have this all around us. This is the stuff I love when I'm sober. Like, I don't need drugs to enjoy this, you know. This is, so to have that constant reminder of, you know, on the excursions that we go on, just every day, the monkeys that come visit my porch every day, there's just something that every day I wake up here, I'm really excited to start another day here, because I'm still in the jungle. I'm still in Thailand on this beautiful island. And I'm working on myself, and I feel stronger and more comfortable in my skin every day I'm here. And now that I'm coming to the end of my 4th week, and I've only got 1 more week after this, I'm starting to, I think I'm already feeling scarcity consciousness of my days remaining here, because I'll miss it. And I remember Ed saying to me when I made the decision to go, I was making the final decision to go, and yeah, I was a little nervous about committing, and Ed said to me, I wish I was still there. And I get it. I know I'll be back in New York wishing I was still under trees like this and by the ocean and, you know, not being 80 degrees. And also just having the time to work on myself like this. Like, I get it. I get why rehab is essential for some people. It was for me. I needed this. And I'll miss this time. And I feel like I've made the best of it. I'm making the best of it. I'm still here in it. And I'm just really glad I gave myself this gift. That's what it feels like. So a big part of my experience at DARA has been physical fitness, which I didn't expect from a rehab. And, you know, that's a big part of my life back home, I do the same thing at home. I wake up in the morning, I go to the gym, it makes me feel good, and I start my day. And here, I've got, I wake up in the morning and there's either some workout in the pool, or meditation, or yoga. There's great yoga classes that Sam teaches, and a Muay Thai kickboxing class that I'm going to take tomorrow. All of that, the holistic aspect of this place has really was exactly what I needed. And I wasn't getting that from just the 12 steps. I needed more. And this place, DARA's really been able to provide that. So I think that's a really important part of my recovery, is having it address all parts of me. Now that I've been here 4 weeks, and again, I feel so comfortable here. I get up in the morning, like just this morning, and get up about 6:30 as soon as the coffee's up at the dining area. And who's ever up at that time, we'll just sit and check in with each other. And I feel so comfortable here with everybody. I didn't at first. And I think that makes sense. Like, suddenly I was, in this group of people that I didn't know, and I wasn't feeling great because I had been, using right up until I got here. So it took a while. It took about a week to feel comfortable in the community at DARA. But, they're these lovable characters now. Like, even the people that I thought were going to irritate me a little bit. They're just like, you get to really know people here, because they tell their life story. You hear why they ended up here, and that's a bonding experience. To hear people's stories and what they went through before coming to DARA is really moving. you know, is moving to tell mine. And I feel like it bonds us together. And I'll miss them, you know. And the people that have left. I just heard Yannick was asking about me, and I hadn't sent him an email yet. And Greg, who left a couple of days ago, who lives in the States. You know, there's people I want to stay in touch with here that I've met here that, you know, that we're living. We're not, you know, we're not in the same room when we go home at night, but we're basically living together, and we're all each other. You know, we're like a family, and I love that part of it too. I'll miss it. Yeah, I kind of love being the only gay guy here. I do. I wasn't. There was one other gay client, Paul, from the UK. He was really fun, but he was only here my first week, so I didn't really get to bond with him as much. Yeah, I think my attitude, like I said earlier, I'm used to the 12-step meetings I go to are specifically for crystal meth. Crystal meth is a problem in the gay community. And so my meetings that I go to often are full of gay men. And being the only one of the few Americans and the only gay person in this group is really different. I think at first it intimidated me a little bit because I wasn't used to it. And my way of, I think, handling it was just to make sure that everyone knew when I got here that I was gay. I just really put that out there in a big way because honestly, I've never, other than my parents who had a really hard time accepting it, I've never really encountered, I'm lucky because I've never encountered big problems with people accepting me as a gay man. I've always identified that way. I mean, really, as I told them my life story, since I was a kid, it was never really a struggle for me to figure it out. I walked into DARA, I made it really clear. I didn't like have a coming out moment at DARA. I just kind of walked in and let everyone know. And I make jokes about it. Like there was one of the counselors came in and was reporting back on some of the client comments. One of the really cool things I think that DARA does is actually ask the clients, what can we be doing better? And as clients, we give them a list of things that we think, you know, could be better. And I guess one of the clients had said there could be a better selection of fruit at the buffet, and we have great fruit. We have like the best mango I've ever had in my life at that buffet. So apparently we did that. We asked for a better selection of fruit, and it was announced at a meeting with all of us around in a circle that we heard your comment and we now have a better selection of fruit. And I said, I'm the only fruit here. How is that a good selection? You know. Anyway, it was fun at the time, and I don't know. I guess there's a part of me that likes being a little different, and I don't carry around a lot of shame about. I don't carry any shame about being gay, and I think everyone's. I've often found that people are as comfortable with it as I am, and I've always been comfortable with it, and I haven't seen anybody be uncomfortable with my, you know. And I joke with Shane and some other people, you know, like there's a fun camaraderie and lightheartedness about it, which everyone seems to have joined me on. So it's good. It's part of my identity here, and I'm fine with that. I don't know that addiction, I think addiction is prevalent in all communities. There's a epidemic of methamphetamine in the gay community, and it's been that way for a really long time, because meth is so related to sex. And if there's, you know, in my experience, gay men and meth and sex are a really dangerous combination. And there's nothing funny about it, really. I know people that have died. I've like 5 friends that are no longer with us because of this. So it's a tough thing, I think, for gay men to quit, because I think it's they feel more accepted and confident and virile, attractive, whatever, on this drug. And so it's, I think some of them look at it like, well, if I'm going to have to give up meth, I have to give up sex. And no one wants to do that. So yeah, I think that there's a particular, from my experience, there's a particular brand of addict that gay men are susceptible to. And there's a whole subculture in New York City that involves meth and GHB and a sort of a underground party circuit, and the apps on the phones and online is how people find each other, and it's really easy for men to fall into that. And once it starts, it's a hard thing to pull out of. So I think people need help, and eventually, for me, I thought I just didn't need rehab. I didn't ever think I was the kind of addict that needed rehab. I would just go to 12-step meetings, get sober, and I've been sober for about 18 months. Twice in the past 10 years, I've been sober for about 1.5 years, and then something has happened, and I've started drinking again, which led me back to meth. And I finally realized I do need this. I need to get away, and what a place to get away, But I would really encourage other people, and I will encourage other people when I'm back, to, no matter where you go, you don't have to come to Thailand, but if it's certainly something people should look into whatever they think is right for them. But to get out of that environment, to get out of that kind of underground circuit that is prevalent in Manhattan and other big cities in the States, I think it's important to just give yourself time away to really heal, because it's rough. Honestly, I think I would give the same advice to any struggling addict, no matter what community they're a part of, is to reach out. We all have people, whether it's family or friends or both, that care about us. And in my experience, what led me here to DARA, to Thailand, was simply in maybe the darkest period I've been in my life, I somehow made the decision to start letting the people in my life know that I was really in trouble. And it was hard to do. I didn't want to. I think I know that I knew I knew that once I started letting my friends in on how dark of a place I was in, about how much trouble I was in with my using, that would be the beginning of the end of my using. I knew that they would intervene, and so my advice would be, don't hide what you're going through. I was once told, if you think you have a problem, take note of how much you lie about it. And I was withholding a lot of information to all of my friends. And as soon as I started letting them in about what was happening, they all showed up. They were all right there for me, and you know, made sure I got on that plane to Thailand and ended up here. So I think reaching out, no matter who you do it to, I don't think there's a way to get sober alone. I don't think that that happens. In my experience, I need a community of sober people. That would be my other, once you reach out, to just keep doing that, keep, you know, connected. The opposite of addiction isn't sobriety. I think it's connection. And once we start to lose connections, once I started to lose my connections to my closest friends, to my husband, and started to isolate, and only really, you know, connect with other people who are using, I was on a path to, you know, what would eventually be the end of me. And there was a part of me that was okay with that. Like, okay, I'm 51, I've lived enough, you know, I've lived a good enough life, maybe I'll just throw in the towel and let meth just win. That's just a really dark place. That's a hopeless, dark place. And if you find yourself there, allow grace to come into your life and just tell somebody what's going on. I think that's the most important thing. Don't keep it inside, because that'll kill you.